It was just another day like any other where I was browsing around the internet, mainly YouTube, when I found this video from 2018. Welcome to the game 2, played by Corey Kitchen. And at that point I felt like, oh man, I'm old. Honestly, time passes by so quickly that sometimes you don't even feel it rush by. And the moment you notice it is already nearly 2022. I could have sworn it was 2016. And thereby I welcome you to my video about the Ruined King game. In this series we, and by we I mean myself because I have no friends, I will talk about the Ruined King game and what happened while I was playing it live on Twitch. Kinda like a diary. Now let's get right into it, shall we? We start where we last stopped, in the Docks harbor. The main quest was to go meet Miss Fortune at her manor, but instead I decided to do some side questing. Oh look, a murder case, time to get my magnifying glass, and of course we shouldn't forget the hat. After some questioning, we found out that he got killed from a member of the Powder Kegs. Apparently he got mistaken for a rival gang member. His brother Owen told us that we could find more information if we talk with Lenny and Darren. I didn't really focus on that side quest, to be honest. The first thing that came to mind though was to rob the prison behind me. Oh ho ho, all that gold is just for me! After stealing from the prison itself, I went on my merry way to the captain herself, Miss Fortune. But hold on, illaoi wants to go shopping. And while I was waiting for her to come back, I sang with some random street performer. While I was still waiting for illaoi, ignore the stuff down there, I accidentally found an elevator to a client of mine. He still owes our friend some money. He was against giving us the gold for a while, before talking about how worthless his life is. But because Braum is such a nice guy and encouraged him to make his dream come true,
make your dreams come true!
He did so and just gave us the money. Now that we retrieved the gold, we go back to our buddy Tom to receive our reward. He gave us a watch? For what? To tell the time? I have the sun for that shit. It's actually a family heirloom, passed over generation after generation. And this idiot just gave it to some stranger he doesn't even know. Imagine how much I can sell this for. Now that we are basically rich, it is time to go to Miss Fortune. And I lied. We go to this massive ass building called Baron's Rest. No, this is not actually a dead baron, it is just called like that, okay? Deal with it. After entering the building, we talk to this woman who wants to know what's behind the door, which is guarded by some random dude. We, being nice guys, follow her request and ask the doorman what's behind the door. He, being a nice guy, of course replies with, "None of your damn business is what?" After inspecting the door intensely, "Hey, would you like to have some? Oh, snacks." We see a crude picture of an octopus holding a sword. After telling the woman what we saw, she gives us the coin, which looks exactly like the picture we saw earlier. Showing the coin to the doorman and threatening him, he lets us go past the door into the arena. We could have fought some sea monsters, but because I didn't have a safe nearby, or rather not wanting to pay gold for it, I just went somewhere else. Another woman who seems out of place compared to her surroundings. She wants to discuss something with me in a more private location. Wait, what? I thought he would give me a blowjob. Apparently she is a businesswoman from Demacia and her supply container got stolen from some thieves able to go to the spirit realm. If you didn't know, the spirit realm is a separate but connected realm to our physical realm. It is possible to travel between them, but not by normal means and only in specific spots. She knows where the stolen goods are because of a certain device which isn't directly magic because the Marsiers are not allowed to use magic. What a stupid region. After accepting her quest, I decided to go to Misfortune. For real this time, okay? And on my way to her, we find a swarm of enemies running around. 2. We also find 2 renegades that don't want Misfortune as their captain, and that's why we kill them. Or at least immobilize them, I guess. Now at Misfortune's estate, we talk with Misfortune about the Black Mist and how the recent attacks came, specifically for her, and how it took out dozens of her best men, and because Braum is such a naive guy with a heart of gold, he gives in a word. And then Misfortune just calls him strong and stupid! Is this the potion pull tactic everyone is talking about? Like, a few moments later she calls Braum handsome, which gets his dick hard, I guess.
Braum. What a spirited young woman.
Meanwhile in Grey Harbor we get a cutscene showing that Gangplank has returned. He got his hands on some Bohuru artifacts that apparently keep the mist from attacking him. His plan is to get the Black Mist under his control. How he will do this is still unknown. At least for now. Now cutting over to the Bilgewater Docks, we get a lot of interactions between Yasuo and this mysterious lady. She's looking for a contact, a merchant which shouldn't be hard to find, according to her. Yasuo is this lady's bodyguard, but he is weirdly on edge, probably because this lady isn't telling him much information. And because this lady is calling him out and asking if he's running from someone because he was so eager to leave Ionia. That's when Yasuo gets a little pissed off, but still is able to stay calm. Now at the Docks Harbor, at the merchant she was looking for, she asks if he is selling sunstones from the Vezani tribe. Vezanis are a type of Fastai who died out long ago, making these sunstones incredibly rare. Sadly, however, he recently sold his last one in stock. The mysterious lady asks who the buyer was, but the merchant doesn't tell it because of client confidentiality. And then this lady uses some kind of magic to make him talk, which makes Yasuo a little suspicious, but doesn't call it out. Because it's getting late, Yasuo suggests to find a place to sleep. After getting to a place called the Waterfront Tavern, Yasuo and this lady go to the man on the counter to pay for a room. Because they only have Noxian coins, which if you didn't know, every region has a different currency, they get a big fat no from the man on the counter, because they only accept silver serpents, with no exceptions. After Jesus Christ. After she uses her dick hardening magic on him, he lets them stay, which makes Yasuo even more suspicious. Getting into their rooms, this lady says that Yasuo makes an excellent bodyguard, which makes Yasuo call out her bullshit, and asks what trick she pulled out, knowing fully well what she did, even calling her out of being a Vastaya. She is a Vazani, the last of her tribe. She reveals her name being Ahri. Yasuo, being a noble yet distraught man, wants to keep his promise of helping her to the best of his abilities. After the long conversation, they head over to their beds and go to sleep. Now we watch a cutscene about Ahri and how she can't control one aspect of her magic, which leads to her consuming the life essence of her loved one. But it was a nightmare about her past and a painful one at that, which prompts her to leave Yasuo behind so that the past doesn't repeat itself. Later the same night, Yasuo wakes up to find out that Ahri went out to Grey Harbor alone, which surprises Yasuo, making him think that he might have said something wrong. But because he doesn't want to fail again, the same way he did in the past, he decides to follow her. This is it for them, at least for now. But back to illaoi and Braum, who also go to the Grey Harbor. Hey, is it our little friend Doran's play? Long time no see. Man, you're expensive. A little while later we get to the gate leading into the Grey Harbor, which is locked because of the black mist roaming around in it. After a friendly little negotiation,
Open your gate, or I will tear it down.
the gatekeeper opens the doors and lets us pass. But before we can go through, a mist creature, which the gatekeeper warned us about, came and attacked us. After a little razzle-dazzle with those mist creatures, something amazing happened. Something that caught me surprised.
Be gone, Shadow.
What? This caught me so much that they even introduced ultimate abilities at the same time. That's probably the coolest thing I ever saw in a single player game. After that amazing fight, we get a conversation with Yasuo, illaoi and braum. Illaoi saying something about how Yasuo's motion is quite intriguing. Probably hinting at his past, I don't know really, that's what I think at least. Illaoi and braum learn that Yasuo is heading to Grey Harbor because he is searching for someone, and that they can join forces for a while to search for this person. But Yasuo, being a bit prideful, says that he will help them for a while, because he doesn't want to admit that he needs help. And by the way, right, that's a typo. Now in Grey Harbor we encounter a lot of mistwalkers and a self-aware braum.
Yes, of course. Bearded lady, motion. What have you gotten yourself into now, bro?
Oh, what? And after a short while we get a cutscene explaining what happened to Grey Harbor and how the black mist comes back every few years. We also get a shot with Hecarim, or at least I think it's him. Our main objective now is to find and get to the Bahuru temple in Grey Harbor to possibly find answers on why it returned after cleansing it before. After fighting a ton of enemies and having to heal our bruiser with some healing pots, we find a mysterious looking object which hums with a strange energy, making the air around it buzz and vibrate. Weirdly enough, through some unknown means, we innately understand the arcane nature of this object. It will imbue a possession of ours with great power, but the device will teleport somewhere else, making it unable to be accessed until we find where it went.
The device teleported to another location.
Bye! Going further into Grey Harbor and fighting a lot more enemies, we encountered two dudes who apparently are chickens, even though they have the necklace which was given to them from this dude, basically Gangplank's crew. And then he just locks him outside like a fucking traitor. And for some reason in the middle of the fight OBS crashed. Fantastic! But not to worry, nothing got lost. Yeah. After some time we find that weird device again with our empowered weapon, making it so much stronger. Now we arrive at a cave, seemingly a resting spot for the Jagged Hooks, Gangplank's old crew. A table with a map on top of it, chairs and even food that could feed several people for nearly a week. Well, now let's get to the resting conversations, my favorite part to be honest. The first conversation is about illaoi and Yasuo. Illaoi talking about how it's better to fight among friends and therefore wants to know more about Yasuo. Yasuo still being a little pessimistic because of what is happening makes it difficult for illaoi to get to know him better and decides to just drink together. In the second one it's about braum and Yasuo. Braum sees that Yasuo helped himself for several drinks that are probably alcoholic and asks if he is troubled. Yasuo begins to tell him a bit about his brother Yone that he once had. Braum, wanting to know what happened to him, gets an answer which makes him speechless. Yasuo says that he killed his own brother Yone. Braum, wanting to defuse the situation, tells him that he will go, with a sad tone of voice, making Yasuo feel a bit bad about himself and suggests him to stay here if he sits quietly and doesn't ask more questions.
What about stories?
Braum.
Okay.
Well, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe for more stupid content, and yeah, bye.